Today we are going to talk about the story that sent shivers down the spines of believers and non-believers alike. It all started on a quiet Sunday morning in a small rural town just outside the walls of Rome. The sun had barely kissed the rooftops, the bells of nearby churches still echoing through the cool morning air. Parishioners dressed in their Sunday best walked slowly to their respective places of worship, holding rosaries and muttering silent prayers. But little did anyone know that a storm, not of rain or thunder, but of spiritual chaos, was brewing inside one particular church. What began as a typical service ended in gasps, screams, and a moment no one would ever forget. Because one man, a pastor, stood boldly on the altar, raised his hand, and smashed the statue of the Virgin Mary into pieces. Before we continue, movie camera, welcome to Matters in Rome. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on stories like this that make you question what's real and what's beyond human understanding. Now, back to the story. The pastor's name was Marco Silvano, a man who had always preached with fire and conviction. He was known for controversial sermons and an attitude that pushed boundaries. "Idols are idols," he had often said. "We worship God, not stone." But no one, not even his closest followers, expected what he did next. He stood in front of a beautifully carved statue of the Virgin Mary, one that had stood peacefully in that church for over 80 years, and he looked into the eyes of the congregation with a chilling calm. "I'm about to set you free from deception," he said. Some laughed nervously. Others watched in confusion. Then, with one sudden and violent swing of his staff, he struck the statue with full force. Marble cracked. The statue fell in pieces to the cold stone floor. And then, the lights flickered. One by one, every candle in the sanctuary blew out, with no wind. The microphone he used gave out a loud screech, like it was being dragged through the gates of hell itself. Then came the scream. But it wasn't from a person. It was from inside the walls. A woman fainted. A child began to cry. One man ran out of the church yelling, "The devil is here!" But Pastor Marco stood still, frozen, like his body had suddenly turned to marble. His hands trembled. He stared at the shattered pieces on the ground, and tried to speak. But no words came out. He opened his mouth. Nothing. He tried again. Silence. He grabbed his throat and gasped. His eyes widened. Was it a stroke? A panic attack? No. He had lost his voice. Completely. The man who had preached for 22 years suddenly could no longer speak. Doctors later found no medical explanation. His vocal cords were not damaged. His brain was fine. There was simply no voice. Now, ask yourself, coincidence? Divine judgment? Or something even more terrifying? Eyewitnesses claim that as soon as the statue broke, they saw something white and glowing float above the altar. Others say it wasn't white, but black smoke that took the shape of a woman with no face. A faceless Virgin Mary? Or something mocking her? One elderly nun in the church collapsed and began muttering Latin phrases none of the others understood. But later, when translated, she had whispered, "The mother was not pleased. He has awakened what he does not understand." The strangest part? The CCTV camera in the church caught everything, except the moment the statue broke. The footage went black for exactly 11 seconds. When it returned, the statue was already in pieces. No explanation. No technical glitch. The footage simply skipped. How do you explain that? Let's fast forward a week. The church was sealed. Investigations were launched. Vatican representatives visited the town, not to reprimand, but to observe spiritual activity. They refused to speak to the media but left behind holy water, relics, and warning signs for no one to re-enter the sanctuary without approval. Pastor Marco remained in a hospital bed, mute, pale, and constantly staring at the ceiling. Nurses say he refused to sleep with the lights off. One even claimed he tried to draw something on the wall using blood from his own finger, an eye inside a flame. What could it mean? Now let's talk about what happened 2 weeks later, the part that was both terrifying and, strangely, hilarious. A group of teens, curious and rebellious, decided to sneak into the sealed church at night. Typical daredevil stuff, right? They brought flashlights and a phone to live stream it. "We're gonna find the ghost of Mary," one joked. They entered through the broken side window and explored the dark, dusty space. They laughed, took selfies near the altar, and then one of them, a boy named Luca, dared the others to stand where Pastor Marco stood and repeat his words, "I'm about to set you free from deception." He did it. Big mistake. Immediately, his flashlight exploded. Not broke. Not flickered. Exploded. The live stream caught him falling backward and screaming, "Something touched my neck." The phone tumbled, capturing what viewers claim looked like a shadow crawling along the church wall, against gravity, like a spider. Hundreds were watching live. Thousands replayed it the next day. It went viral in hours. People laughed. Some called it staged. Others believed every second of it. But Luca was never the same. His mother later told reporters, "He doesn't laugh anymore. He prays every night. And sometimes, he talks to someone we can't see." All this leaves us with one haunting question. Was it simply the wrath of a violated relic? Or did Pastor Marco unlock a door that should have stayed sealed forever? Is the Virgin Mary just a symbol carved in stone? Or is she something divine, something that watches, hears, and yes, even responds? There are things we can explain. Others, we laugh off. But some events, they grip the soul with a fear and awe that science can't touch. And in this case, a man lost his voice. A church lost its peace. And a town was reminded that mocking the sacred has consequences far beyond the natural. Clapperboard. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Folded hands, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you believe what happened to Pastor Marco was divine punishment or just a wild series of coincidences? Thumbs up, please like, share, and subscribe for more chilling stories like this one. Pushpin, and remember, in matters in Rome, the sacred is never just stone, and faith is more powerful than we can ever imagine. Bell, turn on notifications so you never miss what happens next, because next time, we uncover the church that buried the truth beneath its altar for 600 years.